Hello, in this video I'll be walking you through how we automated our entire Upwork proposal generation process. So we make use of init-in, we click up, and a Nest.js application we built using Node.js, frankly. And what this application does is basically manages the different browser instances which we have, right? So what you see here is basically what we have here, and we could pretty much restart the browser, right? So if I'm to click on this, right, this browser is just gonna relaunch, right? Basically the Chrome browser, right? And yeah, that's what you just noticed now, right? So that's to show you that we have the entirety of this application controlled from this Nest.js browser, right? So back to the workflow, right? We have this end-to-end workflow whose job is basically responsible for visiting a predefined URL, right, which we want to scrape, right? And this could work pretty much with any URL at all, really. So what happens is once the process triggers, then we're going to go ahead and visit the URL in the CDP browser, right? So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to click on this URL in order to solve this captcha. So one of the reasons why we went with this approach is to kind of avoid doing, should I say, violating terms, right? In that regard, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and execute the workflow. And what you're going to see is the URL we have is going to open up, right? And we're going to grab all the list of jobs we have here, right? And once that's done, we're going to visit each of the job URLs to get the details of this job, right? So now you see this executing, and then now we've moved. So if I switch back to this tab, we're going to see different tabs open, and what's happening basically is we're trying to get the details of each of these jobs, right? And once we get about 20 of them, I believe, oh yeah, I think it's 17, right? So we filtered out the rest, and one of the filters is just to check if client's review, right, is less than 4.5. So that's just us basically trying to avoid applying to jobs with not so great clients, really. So now we are fetching the first 5 items, and once that's done, right, we're gonna move to the next 5 and so on until we get to 17. And the reason why that's happening is because we are processing items in a batch of 5, right? So the first 5 is done, and if I head back in here, you would see we have a new list of items, right? So as explained, we are going to go through everything, right? And then once we have all 17 jobs, we are then going to accumulate the job details. And basically what this does is we get the details which we retrieve from this job and then merge, like have that merged, right, with the details of this job. So we have a single array of objects for everything. And finally, we're going to pass all the job details and the jobs through these filters, and we have different filters for different scenarios, right? But for this case in particular, what we are filtering for are jobs where the client isn't interviewing anyone, right? And also if a client requires freelancers in a specific location, we could just keep those jobs. But frankly, the idea is we are able to run this through any kind of filtering criteria we would like. And the reason for that is because we have all the details of each of these jobs, right? So if I'm to scroll through this, right, we have this list, and then we have the features, which is hourly duration, and this is basically the details of each of those jobs we need, right? So in this case, the proposals, right, we have 10 to 15 and so on, right? And if I keep scrolling, right, you could see all the details we have, and this job as an example is definitely going to be filtered out. Why? Because we have we have an interview ongoing. So as explained, right, we started with 17 and now we are left with 11. That's because most of the jobs have been filtered out, and now we move to the next stage, right? So this is basically an AI agent, right, and it's the proposal forger, right? If I'm to open this up, it's a proposal forger. So we have that sent to this workflow basically, and it's running right now. And what's going to happen is we're going to pass the job through these filters, and then we're going to search ClickUp, right, to see if those are jobs we've already applied to. And if I'm to head back to ClickUp, right, then we have the list of jobs, right, and these proposals are written based on your pre-existing portfolios, right? And what that happens is using the AI agents node, right, we are able to trigger this tool, right? This is a Qdrant vector store, right? So there are different vector databases you could use, but Qdrant was chosen for this specific use case because it's a quite powerful vector database. I'm not saying there aren't others, but this is just something we chose to go with. Right, so heading back to this, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this and I'm going to copy the data right back so you could see things happening in real time. So I'm going to stop this now, and you see it's cancelled, right? That's 12:15. So I'm going to debug in editor. Sorry. It's loading. I think I'm just gonna pause the video for a second to kind of figure out what's happening, and it appears it seems we stopped the process too early, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect this node, clean the data, right, which we scraped, and then I'm going to recall the Upwork proposal forger, and then it's going to trigger this process, right? So now we have this running, and hopefully we don't cancel the process too early. Okay, so I think I could stop now, and then I could debug in editor, and now we have the data. I can save, and then I can execute the workflow so you see the process in action. So now we execute. This filter is basically just a duplicate of what we have in here, right? And then now we have the proposal forger running, right? So heading back to ClickUp, I click this and I head back. There's nothing there right now. So what's happening is we are using Open Router, right? So frankly, because we get access to different large language models, and what we are using currently is Gemini 2.5 Pro, and that's really because it's not so expensive, right? It's cost-effective model, and we could use something different, right? If you choose Cloud, ChatGPT, whatever you prefer, right? So what happens is the agent is instructed to first of all query for proposals, right, that are similar to the job in question, right? So a good example is this. This is the query. It says a virtual classroom redevelopment with multiplayer canvas using Node.js. And if you are to check this, right, this project, right, so this is a relevant portfolio of projects we worked on, right, in the past. And yeah, this is a different project too, right? But my point being, it queries the vector DB for projects that match, right, the current job that's being queried for, right? And what we do is, in a situation where we bump into a job, right, where we do not have a matching portfolio, then we are should I say we instruct the code, right, to create a portfolio request. And portfolio requests are frankly just what do I call them, right? They're frankly just the list of jobs which we need to create portfolios for, right? And this is like a good example, right, which was created just now, right, by that request. And now we have the details of those jobs, right, which we need to look into and create the portfolios for, right? And in a situation where it finds a portfolio, a relevant portfolio, right, for that job, I think I'm just going to show you the details of each of this query, right? So heading back in here, right, for the first request we have, right, so the results of the, should I say, AI agents, right, is to create a new portfolio, right? And the reason for that is no suitable portfolios were found for the projects, right? And that's why it went ahead to create that portfolio requests, right? And usually when a client asks a question for a certain job, you're actually able to generate responses to those questions as well. And yeah, I think we're able to generate a single portfolio, right? And that's what we have in here. So if I head back here, we would have this, and this is the portfolio. So it goes ahead to describe and talk about exactly how we're going to go about this, right? So if you notice, it uses all this formatting, and this is all part of the prompts which the agent is being fed with, right? The system prompts, which you could use yours really to begin with. But the idea is we're able to generate this detailed and technical proposal, right, for jobs, and that's the entire essence of this, right? And this makes things so much easier because we're able to write and generate detailed, customized Upwork proposals for jobs, and this saves us a ton of time. Really, it's something that works and works well, right, as you can see. And as explained earlier, I think we crashed the process, or we stopped the process too early, and that's why we had the problem, which we did. right? But generally, right, that's about everything, right? In a nutshell, Playwright drives the real browser, so scripting is stable, and it then runs the orchestration, Qdrant stores the portfolios, and the AI agent writes the proposal. It serves a ton of hours a week, and it makes sure every proposal feels personal and relevant. If you'd like, I can share the actual editing workflow and the Playwright scripts, and even a Docker Compose setup so you can try it out yourself. Whoever is interested in this could pretty much leave a comment or reach out and we could talk about how to get this done for you. Uh, it's been a wonderful demo. Thank you so much for your time and do have a wonderful day. Bye bye.